We're here with Aard
A. My name is Aard A.
in Hollywood. And
Los Angeles.
Aard, when you saw the Darren Mack case go down where he had stabbed his wife Charla Mack to death and then left the country after waiting 3 more hours and shooting the judge through the window in his chambers from, I guess, 200 yards away. You thought he was, what, a scoundrel or a hero?
I thought he was a hero.
Why?
Why? Because he gave an example for the first time of those millions of fathers, millions of husbands who are every day being slowly murdered by the divorce judges, slowly put to death by the divorce courts when they take their children for no reason other than money, other than more money, other than extortion, and deny them contact and a relationship with their children. It is impossible to take the loss of the children, the loss of the house, the loss of the income. By the time they realize they want to survive, they want to do something about it, not by doing something dangerous, just by abiding by the oncoming onslaught of court orders which are impossible to meet. They gotta go through a crisis. Most people, as a result of that crisis, they succumb and they become weaker and they lose any source of strength left, and they die in anonymity. Nobody.
Obscurity?
Obscurity. Ignominy.
Sometimes commit suicide?
And most times they commit suicide, much lesser time. I think in my case, like I had 2 strokes, I had diabetes, all of them, because of those shocking court orders that every time that I go to the court and just like 2, 4, 5, 6 hours after that, I'm still like stunned. The whole world is just like becomes like it's suspended in the air. It's impossible to comprehend. With all the evidence that you produce there, they're so callously and cavalierly dismiss it, don't even mention it. All the work that you've done for months and years and all the evidence goes all to naught, because those people are so out of any accountability in the way they conduct the divorce court. There is no accountability. Nobody holds anyone accountable for making a decision without any basis at all, other than a favored relationship with the lawyer that's going to eventually produce some returns for the judge or for the entire industry.
So Darren Mack's a hero in your mind?
In my mind, Darren Mack is a hero because
he fought back.
The majority, 99% of people like him, he decided to strike back, which is people who with honor do. People with honor, they will not take so much abuse, just sitting down and slowly keeling over and dying. That's the reason he's a hero. Definitely, he will be looked as a hero by the future generation eventually, when there's this rebellion that's going to come against this sort of all-consuming destructiveness of judges and lawyers in cahoots with each other against the public, against the people, against the families, against community. So much destruction eventually has to come to an end when people will band together and rise against those masters and storm their centers and their buildings, just as it happened in French Revolution.
So if 100,000 Darren Macks stood up in a single week, that would make you happy?
Well, what would make me happy is that this corrupt system is abolished, and the way to have it abolished is to create alternate competing system where people can choose to go to the constructive side and really stop these tragedies from happening in everybody's life. Instead of bringing people together, those people try to separate them, to antagonize them, to alienate them from each other, to inseminate hatred between family members who've got no replacement. When my wife destroys me, there was not going to be any other person who will love her as much as I did. When you break up, tear apart, and so much instead of bringing people together, those people try to separate them, to antagonize them, to alienate them from each other. Instead of bringing people together, those people try to separate them, to antagonize them, to alienate them from each other. Instead of bringing people together, those people try to separate them, to antagonize them, to alienate them from each other. Instead of bringing people together, those people try to separate them, to antagonize them, to alienate them from each other. Instead of bringing people together, those people try to separate them, to antagonize them, to alienate them from each other.